He's head of research at Switchcraft, who are our partners here at Talk Radio. Alex, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
So, what's going on? Why were people persuaded to put in these so-called smart meters that only worked with one provider? And I can't quite get my head around why you can't reprogram a meter to send the information just to someone else.
Yeah, well, I think I'll start from the beginning, just for your audience. So, the rollout of smart meters is probably the biggest nationwide infrastructure upgrade that has been undertaken in the UK to date. So there was always going to be a few kinks. However, it's become pretty clear that there's been some serious mismanagement in 8 years to get to this point, certainly disappointing. So what the government's done is they've entrusted the rollout of the meters to suppliers. They've set very high targets, and each supplier has different back end in terms of running the meters, and has been under pressure to hit targets. Now, the main issue is that the rollout of the meters is actually accelerated far ahead of the infrastructure upgrades required to support them. Mm-hmm. So the government has pushed ahead with the deployment of the older meters more than they originally intended to, and there's been delays to the second generation smart meters, about 3 years behind schedule, and those are the meters which switch seamlessly to different suppliers. The first generation meters at the moment, when you try and switch them to a new supplier, they will turn dumb, and I think that's what's happened to you, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was told that, your new supplier can't receive that information, so you're still going to have to crawl underneath the stairs and just read a different meter. But Alex, for people who are out there who don't have a smart meter, why should they get one? And should they get one now?
Well, I will say this, that they do not have to get one. They are optional. So that's the first point. Mm-hmm. Second point is they make meter reading easier. They improve billing accuracy. And in theory, they should make switching supplier easier because suppliers do not have to or will not have to estimate meter readings. So that transaction should be made faster. Now, the other reason is not so much for the individual, but the entire UK. So the idea is to have a smart grid that improves our understanding of when and how energy is used, and then this paves the way for things like time of use energy tariffs. And the idea is that you can set your appliances to turn on automatically at off-peak times, and eventually save money on your bills. Now, I will say, in terms of the installation of old smart meters, suppliers should have stopped doing that in March this year.
Right.
But it seems that some suppliers are still doing that.
Naughty.
That is naughty. And I think that they know that when they install the first generation smart meter, so that's a meter that can't switch suppliers seamlessly, that the customer is less likely to leave them. So what they're doing is actually using older smart meters to disincentivize switching by raising the level of hassle for the customer. I think also there's a lot of leftover stock, so it's disappointing that they're still doing that.
So, Alex, if you are approached by your supplier and encouraged to get a smart meter, can you ask them and make sure that you're getting, what should you ask for, a second generation smart meter?
Exactly. You should 100% ask for a second generation smart meter. If you're living in an apartment block, you want to make sure that your meter can actually send information to the indoor unit. So that's the indoor unit that you can see in real time, how much money you're spending. You want to make sure that connection's going to be fine, and also that you actually receive that indoor unit. There's been cases where there's been no indoor units, and another big problem has been missed appointments. So people take a day off work, and then the installer won't even turn up.
But the indoor unit is not. It's just for your own convenience, right? I mean, I only say that because I got quite obsessed with my indoor display unit, because every time I'd put the kettle on, I'd go, "Oh, look, it's rising. Oh, how much electricity am I? I'm not going to make any more cups of tea. Oh, I've turned, the radio on. Look, it's going up again."
Is that a common shout in your home? Oh, look, it's rising.
Well, that's kind of the idea behind them. So it's not the meter that actually accrues the savings. It's the customer worrying about and monitoring their spend that actually supposed to drive your usage down.
Right. But I became obsessed by it, Alex. I think I had to get rid of it because I just couldn't stop.
No.
I couldn't stop looking at it every time I was switching things on and off. Okay, so the advice that we're giving out to people is that if you're approached by your supplier and encouraged to get a smart meter, which you don't have to do, just make sure that it is a second generation meter.
Exactly.
And how about costs, Alex? Are you expected to pay something to get one of these installed?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's no upfront cost. Mm-hmm. So what happens is the entire rollout, each individual meter is actually, that bill is socialised and it's factored into the bills of all UK customers, but not as a specific price, but as sort of a service cost. So no upfront costs. I think it works out to be around £300 per person, but that's spread across everyone. So there's no upfront individual cost.
So you shouldn't be asked to fork out to get a smart meter.
Oh, definitely not. If the installer asks for some cash, don't give it to him.
That's a scam. Great. Alex, thank you very much for your time. That's Alex Dickson, Head of Research at Switchcraft, our partners here at Talk Radio. We're going to take a quick break, and after that,